Hi guys, welcome to day 14. We are about 2 weeks into our challenge, which has been amazing so far. So we have an amazing journey going on and then still ahead of us for another week. Our theme this morning, today, right now, is going to be celebrating our wins, which I think is just so perfect. We've made it just 2 weeks into our challenge. That's more than halfway. And we should have, we should stop for a moment and just take a look back there for a little bit and just notice what we've done. Notice the cool things that we've accomplished. Notice the little wins that we've had. So I encourage you to pause and do that. Our journal prompts today are going to be, what am I proud of from the last 14 days, even if it's small? Even if it's small. How has showing up each day made me feel? Great question. And then our reflection questions are, what is blossoming in me right now, and what part of me is ready to radiate more fully? I mean, come on. So when I think of celebrating my wins, I think of kind of stepping back and taking a look at maybe the last 6 months, maybe the last 3 months, maybe the last month, and just kind of see, what have I done? And what were the goals that I have kind of had in mind, and what have I accomplished? Right now, I've been really working on making it to yoga classes more, and really working on getting my chaturanga strong and steady and sturdy, which is hard for me because I just don't naturally have like strong arms and a strong chest. Like, I am strong, but I could be stronger. So we're working on that. And I've noticed amazing progress in my chaturanga, so I mean, that's a win for me. And then I just have noticed that I've been going to yoga more. And I notice that I feel better when I go to yoga more, which I already know that. And I just need to be more accountable. And, sometimes life happens, and we ebb and we flow, and sometimes we make it for a really long time at our yoga practice, and sometimes we have to take a little break, but it's okay. We make it all work. And that's why it's good to stop and pause for a second and notice the things that you've been doing in the middle of all of the doing. The things that you have done, completed in the middle of all you're doing. So don't let it being small discourage you from it being a win. We have our movement today. We're going to do some heart opening, which is perfect. Looks like we're going to do some cat-cows. We're going to do some cobra and some up dog, and then some crescent lunge with our arms up, and a standing forward fold, and then a seated easy pose, hands at heart. So we're going to kind of take it a little flowier. We're not going to fully stray from our list, but we'll make it a little bit. We'll make little adjustments here and there, so stick with me on that. And just know, sometimes I'll step back to the back of my mat, and I'll mean you to step to the forward of your mat, so good luck. I think I finally have my camera angle good where you can see my whole body in poses, though, so we're making progress. See? Small win. Let's go ahead and start with some breaths. So get yourself into a comfortable spot. Maybe that's on a bolster, maybe that's just on your mat, maybe that's laying down, maybe that's laying on your stomach or your back or on your side. Whatever it is, get comfortable. Close your eyes and start to get into your body. And maybe not so much into your body, but into yourself. Maybe you breathe, inhaling through your nose and exhaling from your mouth. Maybe every time you inhale, you think about a small win that you've had, and you celebrate that with the exhale. Each inhale is an acknowledgement of a win. Each exhale is a celebration of that win. Two weeks, weeks of working on our goals. Maybe even longer than that. But 2 weeks that we've been together. Alright, gently start to come back out of your mind and your body. We're going to find some rubbing on the legs. You can shift back and forth in your seat. You can find circles. Maybe your eyes are still closed. That's cool. Maybe they're open and you want to look around. Either way is good. If you're doing circles in your seat, make sure you do both ways just to be even. And then we're going to come to a seat. We're going to sit up tall. Circle sweep our arms up. Bring your hands all the way into heart center. Take a moment and just honor yourself here. Perfect. And then we're going to make our way into tabletop so we can start moving around in some cat and cows. Or cows and cats. Because I feel like we always do cow first, right? Alright, so we're coming into our tabletop. Hips are stacked over knees. Shoulders are stacked over wrists. Hands are spread out wide like a big old pancake. Sure. Anyways, we're going to look up to the ceiling. Drop that belly low. Take a big deep breath in. And then we'll exhale and we'll start to round the spine. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Press everything away from the earth. Shifting back to our cow. Coming back up to the ceiling. Inhaling really big, filling up that belly. Exhale it all out. Round the spine. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Press the earth away. Sweeping it back up. One more time. Looking all the way up to the ceiling. Taking in a big, full deep breath. Exhale it out, push the earth away, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, press, press, press. Awesome. And then we'll come back to a neutral tabletop. Take a couple deep breaths. If you want to grab a child's pose or grab some water, you can do that too. And then we're going to start to make our way onto the mat, onto our bellies, onto the mat. So we'll come down here. And now you can no longer see me. Okay. Whatever. Alright, so we're on our mat. We're all the way down. You can come all the way down, place your chin on the mat. Get really low and comfortable about it. I'm going to stay up so you can see my face. Take a big deep breath with your chin on the mat, relax everything. Arms can be down by your side. And then when you're ready, after a couple breaths, we're going to come up onto our elbows, and we're going to come into a Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose, we want forearms and palms down on the mat, flat, and then elbows are going to be pressed into the ribs, and we're going to be up tall. Shoulders are going to be tall, but they're also going to be dropped down our back, and our neck's going to be tall. Thinking, the Sphinx pyramid kind of deal. So we're lifting up, and this, can feel great just how it is. You can also press into the palms and lift up the elbows and get a little taller. Don't lose your breath. Make sure you're breathing. Shift back and forth from really far up dog. Back down to cobra. You can even come into cobra if you want and just bring those hands to the sides, and then you'll lift up the head, the heart, and the hands. And then when you feel good, go ahead and rest your head on the mat. Take a big deep breath. Sigh it out. Sigh it out. Cow cobra. I guess we will go, let's do standing forward fold and then to crescent lunge, because that just makes more sense to me. So we're going to come into child's pose. So come up onto the knees. You're going to take the knees out wide, make some room for yourself, and then come into your child's pose. And we're just finding a big deep breath in our child's pose. And then, because we haven't done so much movement yet, so we're not super warmed up, we're going to take it slow, coming into our down dog, tucking the toes, coming up into our down dog, lifting those hips. And then take a moment here with yourself in your down dog. We're going to find movement. You can pedal out the feet. You can bend the knees. Maybe you want to just bend one knee. That's cool. You can drop the heels to each side. Kind of make it your own. Enjoy a little playtime in it. Take a moment and just kind of notice what you feel. And then we're going to take it up to the top of the mat slowly. Once you get to the top of the mat, you're going to want to find a forward fold. Deep forward fold. Maybe even make it a little deeper by walking your feet out wide, making room for yourself, and then just letting it go forward. Wherever you're at, make sure you're finding a big deep breath. We're going to lift up halfway. Find a breath. Fold it forward one more time. We're going to sweep it up, circle sweep it up, arms up above the head. When you get to the top, we're going to look up to the ceiling. So I'm going to step back here so you can see me a little bit more. Looking up, looking up. Take those hands down by your side, and then we're going to step back to the back of our mat with our right foot. So we're stepping back. And now we're in a crescent lunge. Make it comfortable for yourself. If you need to drop onto your right knee and make it a low lunge, that's cool too. You can stick with that. Either way is good. Just make sure you bring those arms up. You can do that in low lunge. You can do that in crescent lunge. I'm going to stay in low because it looks like you can see me better. So arms are up. We're finding a breath. Maybe you want to make it interesting and you cactus and you look up. That was really nice. Take it up. Maybe take it in one more time. And I kind of shifted a little forward on that breath. Awesome. Now we're going to take the hands up we're going to frame the front foot. We're going to tuck the back toes. If you're in your crescent and you're already tucked, that's cool. We're just going to step it up back to the top of the mat. Beautiful. And then we'll find another forward fold. Taking a big deep breath in this forward fold. Lifting up halfway. Fold it all forward. Rise up one more time. Coming all the way back up. Looking up to the ceiling just like we did. Taking those hands down by our sides. And then we're going to step back with the left foot. Stepping it all the way back. And then same options apply if you'd like to drop that back knee and come into low lunge. But also feel free to challenge yourself. Come into a high lunge and, rock that shit out. So we're up here. Again, you can make it your own. Maybe you're dipping forward, leaning back with your top half. You can really get into the psoas that way. If you're in crescent lunge, you can still do that. It's just more of like a top half movement, not a forward movement. So just be mindful. Just be mindful. Make it feel good for you. And then we'll take our hands down by our front foot. If your toes are not tucked on the back foot, tuck those toes. And then we'll step it back up to the top of the mat. Nicely done. Find a big forward fold. Lift up halfway. Fold it forward. And then we're just going to kind of bring our feet close and slowly coming down to a seat. And then we're going to do a little breath here in our seat. You can be seated however you like. And we're going to do some heart holds. So, where's your heart? On the left side of your body. So we're going to take a big deep breath. If you need to shake it out, we just did some movement, so a little weird time, I know. But big deep breath. Settle in. And then take whichever hand first you like. Place it over your heart, and then place the other hand right on top. And then just gently with yourself, start to take some deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And then just like we did earlier, every inhale is celebrating a win, acknowledging a win, encouraging that win. Every exhale is cheering loudly for that win, letting the whole world know that that win happened and that we feel proud of it. Feel free to sit here as long as you like. You can also pause the video and do a Savasana if you like. Give you a second to pause the video if you would like to right now, whether you're seated or Savasana. Awesome. And then we're going to come back into our seat if you're not in your seat. And we're going to close it out. So let's circle sweep our arms up once you get to your seat. Bring those hands down into your heart center. Bow to yourself. Honor yourself. You are the only one that can do this work for yourself. From the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful that you are here. Whether that's doing this challenge or just here on this earth, I'm glad that you're here. I hope that you have a magnificent day. Let's make this last day of our 2 weeks count real nice. Celebrate all those wins. Celebrate all the things that you've done. And then we'll get right into week 3, start to realign. I love you. You guys are amazing. You're so strong. The light in me honors and sees the light, and all of you. Namaste.